When the summer of 2035 arrived, it was the hottest in recorded history. Rivers in Europe had dried into thin lines, while wildfires burned across Canada and Australia. The headlines repeated the same story. The planet was changing faster than people were acting. Amara, a young environmental scientist, stood on the deck of a research vessel near the Arctic Circle. She was part of an international team studying the melting permafrost. As chunks of ancient ice broke away and drifted into the ocean, she realized that climate change was no longer a prediction. It was unfolding before her eyes. Everywhere she traveled, she saw how connected the crisis had become. A drought in Africa caused food shortages that affected global markets. Rising sea levels forced families in Southeast Asia to abandon their homes. The atmosphere was one system, shared by everyone, yet responsibility remained divided. That night, Amara wrote in her journal, "We treat the earth as a resource, not as a relationship." The next day, she promised herself that her research would not only measure the damage but also help design solutions that united rather than separated nations. She knew that the true battle for the climate would not be fought only in laboratories. It would be fought in hearts, policies, and everyday decisions. Months later, Amara attended the Global Climate Summit in Singapore. The conference brought together scientists, business leaders, and activists from around the world. The goal was simple in theory but difficult in practice: to agree on a unified path toward carbon neutrality. Inside the main hall, the conversations were intense. Some countries demanded financial support to shift to green energy. Others argued that economic growth could not stop overnight. The debates revealed not just scientific disagreements but moral ones. Who should pay the most? Who had the right to develop? Amara presented her team's findings: a plan to restore carbon-absorbing ecosystems while reducing industrial waste. "The planet does not recognize borders," she said. "If one region burns, the air everywhere changes." Her words hung in the room. For a moment, the delegates fell silent. During a coffee break, she met June, a young entrepreneur from South Korea who had created solar-powered desalination units for coastal villages. "Innovation and empathy must work together," he told her. "Technology gives us tools, but compassion gives us direction." Those words stayed with Amara. She realized that solving climate change required more than science. It required storytelling, cooperation, and a shared belief that every small action mattered. The future would belong to those who could balance progress with protection. A year later, Amara stood on a hill overlooking a new reforestation site in Kenya. Thousands of volunteers, students, farmers, and local families were planting trees that would one day form a living barrier against desert winds. She watched a young boy place a seedling into the soil and pat it down gently. "This is for tomorrow," he said. At that moment, Amara felt what data could never show: the quiet strength of human hope. Around the world, communities were finding creative ways to heal the planet. floating farms in Bangladesh, urban gardens in Tokyo, wind corridors in Denmark, and recycled architecture in Chile. Each local project was a piece of a larger picture, a new kind of civilization that valued balance over greed. The global climate solution was not one invention or one agreement. It was a movement of billions of small choices aligned toward care. In her final report, Amara wrote, "The greatest discovery of our generation is not a new technology, but a new mindset that the earth does not belong to us. We belong to it." As she looked up at the wide horizon, clouds moved slowly across the sky, calm, steady, full of light. The world still faced danger, but it also held potential. Humanity, at last, was learning that saving the planet was not only about survival, but about rediscovering its soul.